So why did you go into this field of aging research or the research against the diseases of old age?
Yeah, so I was always working in the area of public health, trying to sort of work with saving as many lives as possible. So I was much into campaigns such as tobacco control campaigns and so on. But it is clear for me, and I guess for everybody who is rational, that aging is a major source of lost health, of diseases and suffering. Because it is clear that the prevalence of diseases is multiple times higher in older ages than in younger ages. So it is clear that there are certain specific mechanisms which allow for health deterioration as people get older. And I was always sure that human right to health is the major and basic human right. According to the Constitution of the World Health Organization, everybody has the right to highest attainable level of health, which implies that societies and governments, they all should do best they can, given their finances, economical situation, and so on, to ensure best possible health to people, to citizens. And this includes promoting research, both preclinical, fundamental, and clinical on people, on the diseases of aging and on mechanism of aging per se. And of course, if there are some certain mechanisms which affect not one, but many diseases of aging, we should study them, scrutinize them, and see how we can address them to make life in older years healthier and more pleasant, but with better quality. We all have to care not about only ourselves, because we all are getting older and we will get old, hopefully, but also about our parents, about our people, and so on. So I think it's the moral sort of obligation of everybody to support the research on diseases of aging and women.
So what specific activities and research do you do at the moment?
We, as a group of international group of scientists, we try to work with the World Health Organization to get aging into the agenda of the International Classification of Diseases. Indeed, we submitted a huge proposal of describing various mechanisms of aging and how it affects the risks of diseases. And our proposal was actually accepted, and the World Health Organization made a specific class of aging-related diseases. So this was a big accomplishment of our group. And now I guess it's possible to make a specific new therapies against certain processes, for example, against aging-associated immune deficiency, which is different from other immune deficiencies because we know the mechanism how it happens. So now we just trying to review this group of codes, and to think we need a classification of aging-related diseases and conditions, which needs to be addressed separately than the same diseases in younger ages or in certain specific situation, which will help, hopefully, to research and development in this area to get it more specific.
So could you give an example for your research or for your
Yes,
activities?
of course. What we did, we read, kind of analyzed medical research literature on how different organs and body system age, how they deteriorate with aging, and what is in common with all these processes. So we found, interestingly, that certain drugs, medicines against conditions are pro-aging and certain are anti-aging. Like, for example, some drugs against diabetes, some of them really extend lifespan and health span beyond what is expected, and others are not so great. So, for example, people with diabetes for certain medicines, they live longer, even longer than people without diabetes, which is great. And on other medicines, they live shorter. So that really, I think, implies that there should be change in healthcare systems, taking this into account of long-term drugs, effect of medicines and drugs, which needs to be included into the healthcare system, into what really doctors need to prescribe and what they should not. So we currently are publishing this paper, summarizing all these effects. Hopefully within a few months it will be published. And now we're looking for new classification of aging-related conditions.
So you also used metformin, or
Not
other
only
drugs?
metformin, there is a group of medicines against diabetes, which not only controls blood sugar, but also reduces all-cause mortality, reduces heart diseases, reduces liver diseases. It's just not one medicine, but a selection. Let me maybe not give exact drugs because people might use it without advising to doctors. But other drugs, they're not so great at all. And they should be, in my opinion, just removed from the market because they are not using this potential to improve health span of people. And it is important to look at long-term effects of medicines, not just on short-term effect on biomarkers such as blood sugar.
Okay, so, and you did the statistics yourself, so that you're publishing now the results.
We did a review, or we did meta-review. So it's one thing that one study says that, okay, these people live longer on this medicine. But the highest level of evidence in evidence-based medicine is when you have a meta-review of like, I don't know, 10, 20, 70 studies, which give you more or less the same picture. So we try to analyze all these meta-reviews on all possible interventions, on all long-term effects of drugs, medicines against aging-related diseases, how they affect the health span and the lifespan in all the ages. So we have a nice table of sort of medicines as also supplements which are geroprotectors. And I'm very excited that we will publish it because as people take sometimes a lot of supplements trying to help themselves in all the ages without having basic science. Some supplements, they can be even harmful. Some supplements, they're really helping you. So it's better to have scientific research there to know what is really working and how.
So what can you say about the research in Europe compared to other countries?
I did some science metric studies. United States, there is a lot more money. I think European Union is a unique place which has the greatest research capacity in the world. If we compare it to United States, there is a lot much more funding to medical sciences and including research on aging. But European Union scientists, they are more effective in terms of spending, in terms of publications per dollar or euro of spending. So despite of having lower expenses, they're still the most efficient and most effective group of scientists in medical and biomedical research in the world. So this kind of is a responsibility. So you guys are responsible for health worldwide, for health research worldwide. But of course, the fact that European Union scientists are funded much less than this happens in the United States is limiting factor. So if there would be a great amount of money, grant money, research money, greater funding for the scientists in the European Union, they would produce even greater results, which would result, first of all, in advancement in global medical science, and second, in advancement in the pharmaceutical and other health industries in the European Union, because of course, in this area, European Union is also lagging behind the United States. So if you guys want leadership, not only in research, which is already there, but also in the pharmaceutical industry development, then you need to improve funding of the science, health science, medical, biomedical in the European Union. And that will result in improvement of health of European citizens, but also globally. Because who else do you expect to make medical breakthroughs? Unfortunately, in other parts of the world, like Africa and Latin America, there is still not enough capacity, or even Russia, East Europe. So you need to really, European scientists need to take this lead.
Do you know what it is budget-wise? Like I've read that the NIH has like 39 billion euro, billion dollar per year for research, health research, and yeah, the European Union has less or just 1 billion per year.
Yeah, I think that the big thing which the United States is doing, and it has impact globally, is funding biomedical science. United States provides $32 billion and about the same amount of euros per year just to give grants for health science through this National Institute of Health. And this is just one source. This is the biggest grant-giving organization globally, National Institute of Health, the United States. And it has long-term results, and it gives American pharmaceutical industry the global leadership. And unfortunately, in European Union, there is just about 1 billion euro distributed annually, which is, of course, about 30 times less. So
yeah, but then you have additional on this country level. So this is the budget of the European Union, like 1 billion per year, but then Germany also invests.
Yes, even if you collect all money which European Union gives per year and national spendings, they're not comparable to this amount which American scientists have. There is a website called Waging Portfolio where you can check amount of grants per country and per territories, so you can compare, and indeed all world lags behind United States in terms of health research funding. And I wish other countries, territories would increase health spending, because it's a matter of health of people in the end. What else should government spend money if not on health? Health is life. Right to health is the basic right of everybody. How can you live well when you have pain and disability?
Exactly. And the general public, if some individual is interested to support this or to hasten this development of effective medicine, and somebody who is not a scientist, what can everybody do for themselves to help this development of the medicine?
There are many ways to. First of all, you can join certain organizations, political movements, parties, NGOs, just informal groups which advocate greater support of scientific research. And we know from HIV example that such groups can be very effective. They can really change the situation. We are all patients in terms of aging-related disease, future patients. And we are family members of patients. So it's about everybody. I have seen many examples. Some people, they just join this group. Some people help financially to the cause they believe in. Some people help scientists informally. I saw a lot of cooperation, like when some older professor, he gets help and I know moving things for the conference and so on. So some people work helping organize conferences, which is also great, or find resources to organize conferences. we live in the time where there's citizens, it's called citizen science sometimes. They can do quite a lot to support research, even by providing friendly environment for researchers, by coming to the conferences and listening to them, giving some encouragement. It can also help.
Yeah, now everybody can also join our Party for Health Research and vote for us.
This is amazing. It's totally amazing that finally there is a party for health research, which takes this most important thing for everybody and makes it the focus. I have never seen this in other places in the world, except for maybe smaller occasions. And this, I think, have a chance to become global and viral. So it's a very strong new development, which may be the start of something great and global. So thank you very much for that. We are watching it quite.
Right, yeah, and as you probably know, in Spain, there's a similar party now that are doing similar things. So hopefully more and more countries will also have parties like that.
Yeah, in many places, advocates try to get specific parties just to join this agenda, and sometimes it works. But parties, they have different agendas, so which is typically controversial. So it's much better to have focused party for health research. It's just wonderful. I think that governments should increase significantly the priority of health research, because it's life of people, not anything else. Governments are so strange. They spend a lot of money on wars, on military development, on producing some equipment for the army. And this is not about not life, but death. And they sometimes tend to forget about people and about health. Sometimes even in some countries, if you take 10% of military budget and relocate it to health research, that would be great investment.
Yes. So can you make a prediction about the future? Like, how fast will we develop medicine that will really cure diseases like cancer and Alzheimer? And with today's budget, and if we would increase the budget significantly?
If there will be no changes, we all have good chances to meet Alzheimer and cancer and just suffer without really cure. If we increase the budget, we can really be in the world where all cancers are curable and nobody really has dementia, because they seems like to be like a curable diseases. With cancer, we already see a lot of development, because decades ago it was horrible news if somebody has cancer. And now we see that people are treated and live quite long lives after that. And I believe that it's possible to get rid of the fatalities from cancer totally. As for dementias, now it is more and more clear that it has a very strong immune component. So it's kind of, in many cases, it's either results of vascular events, of ischemia and blood vessel damage in the brain, or in other cases, it's kind of autoimmune disease dementia. And we can really study it very closely, control it and stop it, so that people in the older ages would be as smart or smarter than people in younger ages. And it's really possible. We just need to invest more in different approaches on that. And there are some new interesting results which gives promise even in people with Alzheimer's, with improving memories and so on.
So can you give an estimate in years, like in 10 years, we have the 50% chance to cure cancer or something like that? Would you?
To tell the truth, it requires a special inquiry. I don't like giving just figures, which I'm not sure. You really need to do research. What is the base of curing cancer with current budget and how it has been improved and so on. So, but I think it's really feasible. It's just cancer. It's not gravity or something.
Then the main point is now we do have the chance.
I'm sure we do
big
have the chance
chances.
to get rid of a lot of mortality from cancers. So I'm sure that if we work really hard in 40 years, nobody, like it will be rare occasions of people die from cancer. And same for dementia. Maybe we still are trying to figure out the mechanism of dementia, but we could reduce the burden of dementia significantly, at least by half in 30 years if we fund research, maybe even more.
Yeah, because many scientists say that it could be even earlier than 30 years.
Could be, I'm just being careful. I think there are just more than several cases of dementia. This can be result of different processes. This is why I'm here. It could be like with cancers, not one disease, but many diseases.
So do you have anything else to say to the audience?
We live in a strange society. Who are heroes for public? Some, I don't know, pop singers, I don't know, supermodels who are only just beautiful and nice, and that's it. And I think that the true heroes are scientists who modestly work on quite boring and very complicated things just to improve knowledge of different processes and improve quality of life of people. And this, of course, refers to scientists and health research, because this is very complicated area. You need, I don't know, you need just to have super brain to remember all these details. And people work just to do this boring job for years with no rewards, and they provide really cures. We need really to do media attentions to these people, to give them awards, various ceremonies for them, and not as much to pop stars and so on. So maybe let's make some ceremony or medal to people who just work, do this very complicated, boring stuff with labs and pipettes on daily basis. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much.